I must say, I appreciate Candace Owens for a lot of different reasons, not the least of which is having a relentless pursuit of justice for Charlie Kirk. And I've been saying this for a while, and I'll say it now. The reason that I believe that Candace is fighting the way she's fighting is because she already knows what really went on. She already knows the truth. She already knows who killed Charlie. She knows why. But she is a careerist. She is a podcaster. She does very well, and she knows how to stretch it out. But let me tell you, watching the scum suckers at TPUSA stand with their dicks in the wind because they know that she's got the goods. Like I said, they got an incredible infusion of cash after Charlie's assassination. But it was only going to last so long. The same is true for Erica Kirk. The same is true for Blake Neff. Same is true for Tyler Boyer. Same is true for Andrew Colvett and everybody else involved. This is a grift that they're going to try to exploit for as long as they can before everything is over. Now, the problem is that they apparently have the Justice Department backing them up. But we all know why. We know how we got here. But the Israel connection is very real. And that is what Candace has done a masterclass at for a very long time. She has shown the direct connections between Israel and Turning Point USA. She has also, to her credit, shown exactly the level of infiltration led by little Ben Shapiro has actually had on the impact of the organization. Now, again, I got no love for Turning Point USA. I've been to a couple of their events. I see what they're about. They're about cultivating the youth into their organization to become good voting members of the Republican Party. But that's what it became. That's not what Charlie had set out to make the organization. The organization, when it first got started, was very much a libertarian-like organization. It was a youth version of, you want to say the John Birch Society? Fine. And they're not as hardened and as evil just yet in their youth. They may evolve into it. I always saw Charlie's talent. I always knew he had it. He wasn't my cup of tea. But again, you don't hate the player, you hate the game. He played it well, did very well. But eventually he woke up and he realized what he was in the middle of. And when that happened, he didn't realize that he had already made his deal with the devil. And he didn't know what to do to get out of it. Which is why the text messages, which has become an inflection point in many ways that has been talked about at great length over the past couple of days, particularly between Candace and Andrew Colvett. And Colvett said, produce the records, produce the texts. Candace says, here's your texts. No, not those. You are revealing personal information. Somebody pointed out that one of the great hallmarks of keeping a person's memory alive is their writings. Could be books, could be letters. And in the modern age, it's text messages. It's a way of keeping somebody's memory alive. Like my friend Amanda Coleman. I remember we texted 3 days before she died. And I still remember when I got the call. She went to the hospital and she didn't come out. And I look at it every once in a while. Just a reminder. Just a reminder of what a good friend she was. And her husband, Jason, and my good friend, Jocelyn, and we would get together and go out and watch football. It is important to keep these memories alive. Charlie Kirk mattered to people on a personal level in a very profound way. There's the public image of Charlie, and then there's the actual Charlie Kirk. His family, his kids, his closest friends. He is being used as a prop for the Zionist cause, in death, mind you. And as Candace has shown, you will not use my friend's name in vain. Here we go.
The last face-to-face conversation that I had with Tyler, we were backstage at AmFest.
I want to, Jen, stop putting that stuff up, please. Okay? I'm not going to say it again.
And I was telling him that Charlie should just debate Nick Fuentes. There was some Groyper stuff going on as usual at these events in the hallways. And I was like, just sit down and just have the debate. I think it's just worth having it. And he told me that Turning Point USA was never not going to be pro-Israel. They would always be pro-Israel. In retrospect, that's a weird thing to say, especially a weird thing to consider since its founder was quite literally going against Israel.
And that really is all that it comes down to. The idea that there were conversations happening while Charlie was alive with people at the very top specifically saying, we will always be pro-Israel, and that's it. So who's really in control? Who's really making the decisions here? And that's what's so wrong about this. There are too many obvious examples that whatever is being sold, whatever we're being told is the reason why he was killed, it's bullshit. He was killed because Turning Point USA was a front and is a front for the Zionist cause, and Charlie didn't want that to be happening anymore, and they killed him as a result. It's really that simple. We harp on this and will not stop harping on this until justice is done and the Zio state is dismantled from our daily lives. That includes our State Department and what likely will be revolution.
Last months that Charlie Kirk wrote explicitly.
You know, I suggested Charlie debate Nick as far back as 2021 just to kind of, you know, brush that under the rug. I felt like Charlie could think. Charlie was never in the chat. It was Andrew Colvett and Tyler and their gang of managers who were like, no, we're not gonna know Nick, and you know, we're gonna actually decide who Charlie reaches out to. Yeah, it's on my Twitter. I can send it to you. And
so you don't think never got to Charlie that
I don't know. Well, the thing is, Charlie also was not even like engaging with Nick at the time because he was a troll, and that was the whole thing. And so my whole thing was like, bro, if you think he's a troll and you think his ideas are this bad, debate him and end the argument once and for all. And also your video will break the internet because Tyler himself said we should debate, you know, high followed trolls. And I was like, oh, perfect. Let's debate Nick then. And you'll have this first episode. It'll be a banger. We'll end him once and for all. And we can kind of put this to rest. And they were just like, no, Nick.
The Zionist cause. He said he was going to be forced to leave the pro-Israel cause. It's completely understandable that employees at Turning Point would ask leadership, well, what direction are we going to go in on this Israel issue? Was Tyler Boyer ever asked that explicitly, and what was his answer?
Specifically, Tyler Boyer, I would say, so my friend, when she was in his office, said to him, you know, what is it that you have? Why are you so against Candace Owens, the Israel cause, etc.? She's brave. She's bold. She'll ask Tyler Boyer right to his face because she wants to know what is the big deal about not supporting Israel. That's when he shut the door, pulled her in, and said, listen, I'm a Zionist. Candace Owens is a Black conservative who wants to be relevant in this movement. And she's doing whatever she can at all costs to stay relevant.
For those of you who've been following the show, Stu Peters and I have had a conversation on here before. We'll probably talk again at some point. And I don't know this Mitch guy, but I certainly appreciate what he's talking about. I appreciate what all of them are talking about because, again, I believe this story holds the key to the Zionist infiltration in many respects. They have a much stronger foothold in the GOP than they do in the Democratic Party. However, this is a long way from being over. And maybe the Tyler Robinson trial is a show trial and he will get convicted and they'll say it's an open and shut case. But even if that happens, no one with a thinking brain is going to believe it. We're seeing through the propaganda too easily now. And that, in so many ways, is the real problem. I think in many instances, they have convinced themselves that we can't see it, but we can. They're also convinced that we're not going to do anything about it, but we will.
So that to me says a lot. That is proof. And it's in the text that I sent you to, Stu, of where she confirmed, like, yes, you know, he pulled me into his office and said that to me.
So in the wake of Charlie's death, Boyer, seemingly almost proud and outspoken that he was a Zionist to the core, and that he and Erica would not be continuing the anti-Zionism path that Charlie was planning on heading down. I mean, correct. This kind of brazenness in claiming that he's a proud Zionist, it reminds me of Erica Kirk's Shabbat Shalom, Daddy's Home comment on the Fox News channel while she was wearing an Israeli flag pin.
Charlie wanted out. Erica was more than happy to pick up the mantle, which also goes to show you that whatever that marriage was, well, considering Erica's intelligence ties through her parents, maybe it was a honeypot situation from jump. In Politico, how Candace Owens became TPUSA's worst enemy. In an age of conspiratism, some believe the truth is whatever gets the most views. Less than 1 month after Charlie Kirk's death, Candace Owens made an incendiary claim. Kirk came to her in a dream and told her he had been betrayed. Owens, a conservative podcaster, worked for TPUSA from 2017 to 2019, had taken it upon herself to investigate Kirk's death, homing in on potential betrayers. On her popular podcast, she denied that Tyler Robinson, the troubled 23-year-old from Utah, who was standing trial for allegedly murdering Kirk, had acted alone. She suggested Israel somehow played a role. And she said former colleagues at Turning Point, including his wife, Erica Kirk, should face scrutiny. Colin, what I want you to do, because this is a long article, if you can scroll down, and I'll let you know when to hold it. Keep going. I'll tell you when. That speed's fine. Keep going. It's going to be when the next header comes up. There it is. In an age of conspiratism, some believe the truth is whatever gets the most views. If you are looking for a way to gather an audience or to build clout on the internet, one way to do that is to post a lot of provocative or shocking content, and conspiracy theories can certainly fill that void, said Matt Hanna, an associate professor of digital studies at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. The most dramatic conspiracy theories prey on a natural psychological bias. Big events, we assume, should have big, dramatic causes. A lone gunman or a random virus mutation just doesn't feel like satisfactory explanations, said Catherine Ognayonova, an associate professor at Rutgers, my alma mater, who studies misinformation. Oh, Rutgers has a misinformation course now? That's sweet. People find it easier to believe that powerful social groups are secretly orchestrating events. Yeah, they are. The theories gain widespread appeal, and independent creators who peddle them find fame and fortune. Ognayanova's research found that within a week of the attempted assassination of Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania, 2024, between 1/4 and 1/3 of Americans found conspiracies about the event, that it was planned by Democratic operatives, or that it was staged to be plausible. The share was even higher among strong partisans, regardless of party affiliation. Let me tell you, there's one thing Jen has been very adamant about, is that Butler was a complete setup. On the Charlie Kirk Show, official responses to Owens and other allegations have become frequent programming. There is a cost for free speech, and the cost is that sometimes stupid people say stupid things, Andrew Colvin said. But hopefully courage and wisdom, prudence will rush in and fill the void. So it's not just one side winning the day. The number of turning points on campus chapters exploded after Kirk's death, thanks in part to some red states facilitating high school chapters from around 2000 and 6000. But at campus chapters across the country, leaders found themselves having to refute Owens' theories. It's really frustrating, said Nathan Lutz, who founded a TPUSA chapter at his high school in Trumbull County, Ohio. The only problem that I have with Candace Owens is she says a lot of stuff, but really just says it and doesn't have the stuff to support it. Oh, really, Nathan Lutz? Is that so? That's cute. Owens has caused a lot of pain among students, said Arizona University professor Owen Anderson, who serves as advisor to the campus group that sits in the backyard of TPUSA's headquarters. He has seen a major influx of interest in since Kirk's death, but Owens' conspiracies have led to security concerns among the student leaders, some of who feel, they feel unsafe. Yeah, we've heard that quite a bit, haven't we? If she had some proof, people would listen. We have plenty of proof. What are you talking about? It's like they get their fucking marching orders and they say, this is what you'll say to the media if they ask you questions. But then when it turns into, hey, I think she's just attacking a widow, it gets kind of disgusting. She's not just attacking a widow. She's getting to the bottom of the bullshit, which is what our job is. That's why we do the channel that we do. And while this isn't something that we cover all the time, when something comes up that's relevant, we'll address it because it's all connected. At AmFest in December, TPUSA's premier winter conference, conservative commentator Little Ben Shapiro called out Owens by name. Erica Kirk and TP never should have been put in a position to have to defend themselves against such spacious and evil attacks, particularly in a time of mourning. Eventually, Erica Kirk agreed to meet with Owens. Erica would like me to stop lying, and I would like to honor that. I can only honor that if Erica is more explicit in terms of what I've lied about. Kirk obliged, and the two met privately in early December in an undisclosed location. Erica, in a brief tweet, called it a productive conversation. Owens said at a 4.5-hour meeting and just debriefed in a subsequent podcast episode. During the meeting, Erica and another Turning Point staffer went point to point through Owens' allegations and contradicted her public statements, according to the TPUSA staffer who moved into a rental property. That staffer was briefly on the meeting with Owens. Every morning I wake up to a new headline lying about me. I don't know. I've seen enough about Erica Kirk to know that she's got a very checkered past because her story changes constantly and her career moves change constantly. And when I see that, it should be highly suspicious, as it should be to anybody else. Keep scrolling, Colin, please. In January, TPUSA served Owens a cease and desist letter, suggesting that she had violated a non-disparagement agreement she signed when she left TPUSA years earlier. I'm sure there is some truth to that, but overall, I'm sure it's all BS. Most of it is BS anyway. Keep scrolling, Colin. Keep scrolling. In May, Charlie Kirk's former bodyguard filed a defamation suit, but the TPUSA organization itself has taken no further legal action, resigning itself to combating Owens' accusations during episodes of the Charlie Kirk Show. This is one of the reasons we don't want to play whack-a-mole with this stuff, because like every day, it's something new. Then I and the organization or Erica is alleged or plotting. Colvin said during a May 15 episode, it's so outlandish that I don't even know where to begin. You know what? We're going to hold it there. Here's what we know for sure. If Candace Owens was lying about what she was saying, if she was deliberately committing libel, slander, anything that can be proven false, especially in a court of law, it would have been done already. But that hasn't happened. And the reason I believe it hasn't happened is because they're running out of real estate. They're running out of places to go to convince people that this story is just made up. It's a hoax. It's not real. What we know is that the walls will continue to close in on all of this. And we will cover it because it, again, links everything back to the Zio state and what TPUSA was being used for, why Ben Shapiro through the Daily Wire gave $1 million to the organization, and why Tyler Boyer made the statement he made, and Andrew Colvin made the statement that he made. Everything is interconnected to Israel. That is what this organization is built on, and it will not change. Too much money invested in getting these things up to the pace that they need to be at. It's a money laundering organization. It was a voting machine organization, getting people to support the cause. I mean, listen, Charlie Kirk probably as responsible as anybody for getting Trump elected in 24. That operation is dead now. They'll have some success, but nothing close to what they once did. Because the collapse of the Zio state is commencing as we speak. So hats off to Candace. Hats off to Stu Peters. Hats off to anybody else who's standing on business for the truth, not just for Charlie. Charlie is merely a symbol of the greater reason. It is the dismantlement of the Zio state at the expense of the American people. If we don't do that, we subject ourselves to even greater harm as a nation as we continue to spiral. History has shown we're on borrowed time. But we will fight for a better future because it can happen.